Have you ever wondered why your children fight, compete with each other? Don't worry, you are not alone. Today I'm going to be sharing with you parenting mistakes that fuel sibling rivalry. My name is Wendy Ologi, and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. And sibling rivalry is a very common issue in many families. And most times you'll find out that there are certain parenting behaviors that unintentionally you don't know you're doing it that actually cause sibling rivalry and also fuel it. Now, the goal of this particular video is to identify those common mistakes that you're making and then ensure that sibling rivalry does not take a root in your home. So, we're going to also be sharing with you some of the things that you would do instead. Number one, favoritism. That's one mistake many parents make when it comes to sibling rivalry. When you show preference for one child over another, whether you're consciously doing it or unconsciously, you're going to breed jealousy and resentment. Let me give you a typical example. You favor the eldest child because they are more responsible, or you give more attention to the younger child because they seem needy. Yes, I know. You're saying, so what else am I going to do? The truth of the matter is that this leads to feeling of inadequacy and anger in the less favored child, increasing sibling rivalry. I wrote a book that is upcoming called The Trophy Child. And I said in that book that when you create a trophy out of a child, you breed resentment in the other children. One thing you must note is that you would need to distribute your attention in a way that it will pay everybody. And you must be careful how it is that you are unbalancing those attention. So create a one-on-one session with each child and try as much as possible to give that a weekly, timetable and, give that your time. That's one of the things that we do in my own family. Number two, inconsistent discipline. When you apply different rules of consequences to each child based on age, based on temperament, and other factors, you can create a sense of unfairness. Now, consequences need to actually happen according to the type of child you have. However, there needs to be a balance. For example, you punish one child for saying, name calling another, child. And these things happen when we do not have the right kind of mood and the right kind of mind on our discipline. So our discipline is driven by mood, reactivity instead of responsibility. Now, when your discipline is driven by responsibility, you are actually able to put a lot together. Like I wrote in my book, discipline is not an emergency. I was able to actually put together what it means to be responsible. Now, what it means is that you become predictable. Your children will understand that when you name call someone, the consequence is the same. Yes, it might vary according to the age of the child. I mean, the intensity, the what it is. But everybody knows that this is how my parents are going to react if this happens. I usually say that unpredictability is the enemy of parenting. Now, this causes a lot of friction, it causes a lot of competition among siblings because the sibling is always going to try to prove who is better behaved, who is the most favored. I usually say that one of the biggest causes of sibling rivalry is attention. Parents seeking the attention of their children, seeking the attention of their parents. And trust me, believe you me, this is a very regular thing in most of our homes. We do not think that it exists, but it does exist. Attention is one of the biggest causative agents, if I may say that, to every sibling rivalry. The next one is comparing each other. When you compare your children, sometimes you compare your children, you need to actually know why comparing your children is something you should never do. it will lead to rivalry. Now, for example, you highlight one child's experience and then you criticize another child's experience, or you compare behavior, looks, or academic performance. When you do that, you encourage an unhealthy competition. You encourage resentment. You encourage a lack in the self esteem of that child who feels inferior. And of course, that happens. Sometimes we don't even compare with a bad intention. We usually will compare with a good intention. Your intention is to make the other child do better, right? But nah, it actually makes them feel worse than it will make them feel better. Another pointer is ignoring and downplaying conflicts. When conflicts are not addressed, you ignore it. You don't actually insist that siblings come to a point where they deal with conflicts. One of the things I have found that is lacking is that most parents do not teach their children skills in dealing with conflict. Most times, children are conflicted, they don't know how to solve it, and it actually grows into adulthood. I have said that sibling rivalry doesn't start in adulthood, it starts in childhood and takes root in adulthood. Most times, when it starts, parents just ignore it or parents sweep it under the carpet. One of the greatest gifts you can give to your children is the skills in conflict resolution. And this is why, in our upcoming course, dealing with sibling rivalry, one of the things you're going to learn are the skills to actually be able to resolve conflict. Why you cannot teach it is that most of us were not taught conflict resolution. That's why we're constantly fighting with our spouses. We're constantly, we even postulate that if you don't fight with your spouse, that means it's impossible you're married. Why do you need to fight? If you need to fight, something is wrong somewhere. Is conflict okay? Yes. Fight? No. Yes, you can conflict, and which is why rivalry is actually a big deal. It is common, but it's not normal. Then the last one, what that of the things that you actually, a mistake that you're making, playing judge. You are the center of the trouble all the time. You are the judge and jury. When you play judge, you actually begin to put yourself in a position where you take sides. What should you do instead? What I'm saying is that when your children are conflicted, one of the things you want to do is to get them to solve their problems themselves. So what do? Teach them problem solving skills, teach them negotiation skills, teach them how it is that they need to actually do things together. I have seen my children, I have a set of twins who are teenagers. Sometimes they are in conflict, and I'm usually tempted to go and say, you know what, you are wrong. I know who is wrong in my head, but I actually never come to that point. Except your children are in harm's way, never actually intervene. And when you intervene by building skills. You don't intervene by solving the problem for them. Remember, you are not there to solve their problem. All of this you're going to be learning at the dealing with sibling rivalry course. You can find the link to register in the description of this video. You want to be at that class because you want to learn, right? One of the things that you want to begin to do is how do you improve strategies to improve, ensure that you practice self-awareness, reflect on your behavior, your language, ensure that you're not showing bias. So at that class, we created what we called the parenting personal reflection worksheet. How do you reflect every time to know where you are and what is happening? Rotate special activities. Give each child his own turn for something that is special to them. Get a balanced attention. Another thing that you can do is that you should create the discipline that works. Hold family meetings in the academy, the Intentional Parent Academy Inner Circle program. We run an annual program where we teach parents how to actually create systems to solve all of their problems. Part of one of the systems we created is actually the family meeting system, where everybody regularly, assesses, discusses their expectations, where you allow each child a voice to their thoughts. Another one, focus on strength. Acknowledge the strength of each child and make positive comparisons, right? Without actually comparing just their strength, just their achievements. One of the things you're going to be learning at that course that is upcoming, dealing with sibling rivalry, is how to use what we call the sibling mentorship tool to solve sibling rivalry problems. We're going to be sharing that with you. And then, lastly, ensure that you address conflict intentionally. Don't leave conflict to go away. Don't jump in to solve it. Get your children to solve their conflict again. Don't forget the common problems. Number one, you being a judge. Number two, not teaching conflict resolution. Number three, comparing your children with each other. Number four, inconsistent discipline. Number five, favoritism. Did you find yourself in any of this place? Have you actually been in this space and you battled with it? I'd like you to share in the comment section. Or did you find yourself in this place growing up? Go into the comment section, share with us, and reflect on your own parenting practices. Consider implementing these tools. Do you have a question? Put it right in the comment. And don't forget that the link to register for our parenting class dealing with sibling rivalry is right in the description of this video. See you again next Friday. Have an amazing day.
Have you informed and invited every parent you know to the TIP Summit Lagos 2024 happening at the KICC Prayer Dome, Maryland, Lagos?
This summit is designed specifically for you, whether you are a new parent, seasoned parent, or even thinking about becoming a parent in the future. The Intentional Parents Academy have put up a full day of insightful session where we will equip you with actionable steps, proven strategies to make your parenting more impactful, intentional, and rewarding.
Join us for the TIP Summit featuring Coach Ebuka Ede, Chidozie Eze, Etima Ume, David Folahomi, and the governor himself, Coach Kunle Ologe, and the convener, Coach Wendy Ologe.
And guess what? Registration is totally free. All you need to do is to click the link below to secure a spot.
Invite your friend, family, and any parents that you know. This particular event is for everyone, including people from the nearby states.
If you're a business owner, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to connect to large audience. We still have vendor slots available. All you need to do is reach out to us. See you at the TIP Lagos Summit on the September 21st. See you there.